All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and get started on example 1 here. In this case, we want to go ahead and rewrite the rational expression as a radical. That's supposed to say radical here, as a radical. So starting off in this case, I want to go ahead and do some labeling here. Starting off with this number here, in this case, we have the 9 is representing the base of the expression. So this is the base, and sometimes it's also referred to as a radicand. Now, in this case, the 1 in this case is known as the power, and the 2 here is known as the index. So whenever you have a rational expression, once again, it's a rational expression because it has an exponent that is a fraction. And we want to go ahead and express it as a radical. Whenever we rewrite the radical, I'm going to go ahead and start off. Once again, this is our symbol for radical. Inside of the radical, we have our base. Along with the base, we have our power. So all of this is inside the radical. And on the outside, we have the index. So I'm just going to go ahead and color code these. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. If I want to go ahead and rewrite 9 to the 1/2, that is going to be the radical in this case with the base of 9, exponent of 1, and an index of 2. Now, I could actually rewrite this because this is actually known as the square root of 9. So when I write this, it's actually just going to be the square root of 9. And in this case, two things. We're not showing our index because the original index value for a radical is a 2. So if you have a radical expression that doesn't show an index, then the index here is automatically going to be a 2. And in this case, same thing with the exponent. In this case, it is a 1, so it won't make a difference if I include or not my 1. So this would actually be our final answer for this first one. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to this next one here. And once again, it's the same idea. I want to go ahead and label my base, power, and index. So let's get started. So this here, once again, that is my base, or the radicand. And in this case, this one would be known as a power. And then this here is our index. Our index. So let's go ahead and rewrite this. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and start by building my radical. And then I have my base of 8. My power in this case is a 1. I'm going to go ahead and actually do dash because it's an imaginary one. And my index here is 3. And I do say imaginary because we have the option of not writing it in. So if we don't want to write it in, we could just have that. But I just put a dashed 1 because that's invisible. All right, and this one, guys, go ahead and work with this one on your own. Go ahead and do this one on your own. Label the base, the index, and the power, and then rewrite it as a radical. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this here, guys. And this is actually the format if you want to go ahead and rewrite rational expression to a radical. So once again, from rational to radical, this is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And we're focused once again from rational to radical. So here's the first example. This is example 2. And in this case, we want to go ahead and rewrite the expression as a radical. So starting off, let's do some labeling. The k in this case represents our base, or the radicand. The 1 represents the power. And then the 9 represents the index. So if once again, if we're going to go ahead and write this like the previous ones, the only thing different is that this has variables. I have the radical, and then I have a k on the inside. My power here is a 1. I'm not going to go ahead and show it, but I do have an index of 9. So we started off with the k to the 1/9. So our answer in this case is actually the 9th root of k. And that's our answer. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And here's the next one. And once again, it's x to the 1/8. So starting off with labeling, this is our base. This here is our power. This here is our index. So let's go ahead and write this down. It's the radical, and inside the radical I have my base. My power is a 1. I'm not going to go ahead and show it. Wait, let me do this backwards, sorry. The base in this case is 8. Base here is 8. Base here is x. I'm getting confused here. And our index is 8. So our answer here is the 8th root of x. That's our answer. All right. And let's go ahead and now move on to this one here. And this is from radical to rational, So it's the same thing in this case, but now it's backwards. Now we're focused on expressions that have a radical, and we want to go ahead and rewrite it as a rational. So starting off, we have this here. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and identify a few things first. Once again, the b in this case is going to be representing our base. B represents the base. And in this case, the 7 is going to represent our index. And in this case, guys, we do have a power. It's not shown, but we actually do have a power. The power is a 1. And in that case, it was imaginary. So that's power. So when we rewrite our expression as a rational, we're going to go ahead and have the base to the power over the index. So in this case, the base is b, and our power is 1, the index is 7. So our answer is b to the 1/7. All right. And next one, guys, once again, same thing, same idea here. We have the 5th root of c, and I want to go ahead and identify c. So c in this case represents, once again, the base. And then 5 in this case represents the index. And then we have our power in this case, which has a value of 1. So that's a power. So when we rewrite this in this case, it's going to be c to the 1/5. All right, and that's our answer. We do have a challenge problem, and that's for you to do. So this is our challenge problem. Make sure you complete it. And that concludes our lesson. There is a con for this lesson, so make sure you complete the con for the lesson.